I've been talking to Perplexity Labs the whole day today, and I'm surprised by the results I got because it's much better than what it was in the past. These new agents are research professors, if you want to call them. They scroll the net and they find you the best resources and build a nice visual app for you so you can see everything. Of course, it has some challenges where you have to be involved as a human and have your intervention, have your comments and tips and direct it into the right direction, and also your sequence of prompting is very important. This is exactly what I want to show you in the video. I'm going to show you how I got $1 million or $1 billion idea based on what Sam Altman says, the one person $1 billion business. And I'm going to show you exactly what sequence of prompting I went through so you can use it for yourself and find your business ideas and get started. So, how can we use Perplexity Lab to generate business ideas that are backed by facts and evidence and validated by Manus over here? So, we're going to discuss four things in this video. Point number one is the top three most profitable ideas for the UAE market. And I'm going to give you the framework or the prompt sequencing I made or did in order for you to get the results. This is extremely critical because I had to repeat it 4 times to get this prompt sequencing. I'm going to give it to you. And point number three, we're going to discuss here is big and important practical considerations. And you're going to see why you, the human, are very important to be in the loop over here when you're ideating and brainstorming. And just keep in mind this point number four over here. How does it feel like when you discuss certain ideas with non-relevant people who don't know about the topic you're talking? Essentially, you don't get the good results, or you get discouraged about the idea that you just had, which is not good. And this is the models, LLMs, and who you're speaking to. And that's where Perplexity Labs, I think, shines. So I discussed this in a previous video, saying that there are evolutions or phases towards humans and also evolutions towards machines themselves. So Perplexity Labs gave us a decision in this demo that I'm going to show you, where it took us and gave us the information, gave us the insights. We went back and forth a bit. We co-created a bit with that idea, and then we came to this decision that Perplexity said that this is the idea that you need to go after, and this is the reason you need to go after. It didn't go the next step, and it doesn't have the capability to go to the next step and start building that business out for me. But that is like the future of where machines are headed. And my skill or market sophistication I needed, I didn't need to know any workflow engineering kind of thing, or N8N, or Cursor, or super based database schemas, or using Lovable and Bolt. Is just done by prompting and Perplexity. You're going to see exactly how. And this is all based on a thesis of Sam Altman saying that in an interview that there's going to be a one-person $1 billion company very soon in 2027, 2028. That means very soon. And this is just going in that direction, saying that, okay, if this wave is coming, that is the North Star. And the UAE just implemented an advisor, a national AI system as an advisor in governmental entities. If that's the thing moving to in the future, or AI is going to come in the workforce and organizational charts, what could I do? What idea could I go after in order to capture this? And here's just a quick brief of Perplexity Labs releasing this. It's saying that, okay, this is a different mode we're going to have over here. And at some point, we're going to get rid of the deep research because it's similar to research. We're just going to have two modes in the future. It's just saying that, okay, this is something better that can do more things for you and much more extensive research. And over here is Perplexity Lab. You can see that I went through this. I gave it a couple of prompts. It went through a lot of resources. This, for example, 61 sources, the previous one, 78. And I did this, as you can see, the scroll over here, many times. And I kept on going back and forth until we came up with this ideas. And it gave me this nice app over here as well, you can see, where it's just summarized everything, saying, okay, this was what we're talking about. This was your journey. This was the prompt flows and the questions you asked and so on, the business ideas we came up with, the framework we could come up with, the insights, the landscapes, and so on. And it also gave me a couple of assets. And what I did was I exported all of this, download all, put it into Manus to validate whether this is a good idea or not. You can see here, it validates for me, okay, these are the options. Let me reassess everything. And then also put this into a slideshow, which I can share with you right now, saying that Perplexity Labs new agents are insane for idea generation, and let's get into it and give you the full step-by-step guide plus demo of how I did everything. So a quick introduction here. And as I mentioned, there's this big wave coming. So I just wanted to see the ideas within the UAE. I want to see what's the landscape of AI within the UAE, with governmental entities, with businesses, with solopreneurs, with consultants, and individuals as well. What is everyone thinking? What's the sentiment? What's the psychology? What's the market saying right now? And it told me that in 2024 it was around 3.47 billion AI market in the UAE, and it's expected to be around 46.33 billion very soon. And right now we're around at 10 billion. So we are at 3 billion, let's say 3.5. It's at 10 billion, and now we're moving towards 46 billion. That's like a 4.6 to 5x growth from here in the next 5 to 10 years. So, and that's would contribute to 14% of the UAE GDP by 2030. And here I want to show you how you can utilize AI and intervene as a human to do your business ideations and validation in order to stand into this wave and capture this growth that's going to happen. And you're going to see it. You can capture multiple growth in multiple industries. For example, if you're in the medical industry may boom and AI is booming. So you have this double kind of effect, not like linearly double, but there's this kind of double effect happening over there. So our journey and how we went through prompting this, I did this multiple times, as I mentioned. I was first started with the seed prompt, which was a very broad prompt. And if you're just looking for ideas, start with this very broad prompt. Okay, this I have this idea. I want to do an AI MVP. And this is what exactly I mentioned. I said, I have an idea for an AI MVP. It either can be a SaaS or it can be an agency where it helps other businesses build their AI MVPs. I just want to see the opportunities here in the UAE, what we could do. And then it gives you like a couple of options. Then you narrow the focus on one of those ideas and go further into that idea and go back and forth and understand that idea even more. And then you add your concept to it, where you add context. This is what I do. This is what I have. This is how much time I have. This is how much resources I have. This is what I am aligned with. I'm not going to do sales calls. I'm not going to do cold emails, but I want everyone to come to me. Like you feed it context, your values, your principles, and so on, so it can refine more on this ideas. And this is all I did all this, by the way, in here in Perplexity Labs. And then you deep dive into comparing it with YC Combinator, with Reddit forums, with X, with different platforms. Just go extract information from there, see what's the sentiment is there, do comparisons. Because if you can find a use case that has succeeded somewhere else in some different scenario, it may succeed. You have a higher probability of succeeding yourself. And then at the end, you tell it, okay, give me a comprehensive roadmap for me to build this out from 2025 to 2027. And then you have your full plan in terms of the AI understanding the full context of everything and also giving you the power of perplexity going through the resources. As you can see over here, it went through 61 resources in this case, and then it went through 78 and much more. So it's kind of your personal researcher over here. So this was the prompt flow. In the beginning, what I did and the mistake I did at the very beginning, I gave these two prompts as one, these two prompts as one, and this alone. So just separate them out, do it 4 times, do it 5 times, and then you're going to get to the result that you want. So the business opportunities it gave me in this case were as follows, and I'm going to show you why this is green over here and what exactly happened and why humans are very very important to be in the loop when doing this ideation phase and should not rely purely on the data by AI, even though the data is right. So the business opportunities initially told me was governmental procurement. It said that there's no competition in this market, and this is a very big opportunity, and it's a very big market. It's a 2.1 billion the dirhams market, and the time to revenue could be 90 days if you're just starting today, and this is your revenue in 12 months. And it may not be feasible doing it solo, and the competition here is saying high, but it said it was low at the very beginning. So I think these two are flipped over here. So this was low and the competition low. Nobody's addressing this, and this is why I want you to go after this idea. Then I told them I'm not very comfortable in doing this idea because okay, I can build it out, but I'm not aligned as a founder with this idea. So what can we do next? It told me, okay, the next best idea right now is so SMEs financial workflow. So they have cash flow problems. They don't want to go after clients. They don't know how to do their taxes and so on. So having an app for them, an MVP for them, and just going through different workflows to get them, this has a good market size as well. And you get to revenue faster. And essentially, it gives you all the details over here. And then I told it I'm not comfortable with this and neither this. So, what about an idea where there's this AI agent marketplace where I build AI machines for different businesses where they could use those machines for marketing, sales, operations, and so on? How big is this market? It told me that's a 189 million dirham market, which is much smaller than this $2.1 billion dirham market over here. but the time to revenue is fast, and this is quick cash, and it's very feasible as a solo person if you're going to go after this as a one person business. And I'm talking one person business just to go with the fact of Sam Altman over here saying that one person $1 billion business. So this was low, and I told it, and then I asked it this question. I told it, okay, if this is the best option, if you're telling me this is the best option over here for going after business opportunities, and then we could pivot into something else to go to that $1 billion, why didn't you recommend this at the very beginning for me? Why did you tell me this is the best or this is the best? Why didn't you come up with this idea at the very beginning? You had me to tell you. I told Perplexity this. It came up with this thing over here. Then I connected it with one to n thinking as 0 to 1. There's this book called 1 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. Highly recommend it. It's a very classic book, and it says that humans think from 0 to 1. Something that's not there, they think, they get creative, and they get new concepts. But machines think from 1 to n, meaning that they can improve on your one, but they can't start from zero. This means that AI excels at scaling, but humans must spark the originality, meaning that you as a human, you always should have that input that you have towards this AI machine or Perplexity, saying that, okay, I think this is a better option based on my experience, based on what I know, and based on how the market moves. Evaluate this for me against the ideas you just gave me. So every time you're thinking about ideas, it gives you a bunch of ideas. Evaluate or add different ideas yourself and tell it, look into these different ideas and tell me which one is the best out of all of this. And that's how you get the best results over here. Then we come to key insights and checkpoints. One is Perplexity did not surface the AI machine orchestrator, which is a concept that it was the best concept, but it did not come up with initially because it prioritized sectors with direct government spending and minimal competition. As I mentioned, there was a mistake at the top, but this was minimal competition. Point number two is the direction shift after human input because we introduced some human inputs and it had new metrics to evaluate everything at. And then it talked about the VC economics and unicorn math, saying that, okay, by year three, maybe with this idea, you could get to $1 billion in valuation. And then the refinement triggers came in when I kept on challenging and telling it, okay, look, the community may churn, or the delivery may not scale for such a personalized service, or the technology may change because AI is moving so fast and we don't know what tool is going to come in the future. Then I'd say, okay, this is the best idea right now, and you can evaluate. What happened over here is that it initially gave me idea number one and then idea number two because I was not aligned. And then I gave it a bunch of inputs being, how can I align this to me? And gave me idea three, and always evaluating it with this criteria. Is it a $1 billion idea or not? And that's how we came up with this idea. Then it went into looking at the UAE and global landscape, telling me that, look, okay, this idea is aligned with you, yes, but if you want to achieve a $1 billion evaluation over here, what you need to do is you need to go global. You can't stay local in the UAE with this idea. With the other idea, it's faster to make money. You're going to make more money if you stay in the UAE only, but with you're not going to be able to go global because you're doing governmental procurement and you're just productize yourself for the UAE government. So the UAE AI landscape over here, it told me that, okay, based on news, based on references, based on PDF, based on what I found and so on, it's going to be the 2031 global leader. The market growth is expected to be 46 billion. As we talked about, the GDP contribution will be around 14%, and how much we're expecting of millionaires and people coming within the UAE. And then it looked at the global numbers. It said that 82% of YC Winter 2025 batch focused on AI solution. That's big. And then 25% of YC startups use LLMs for 95% of their code. Solo led exits, and AI startup reaches 1 million AR 4 months faster. And there's this nice podcast that came around 30 days back by Gary Tan, Y Combinator, and is saying that the next unicorns will be built by solo founders using AI, and you can go check that out. Highly recommend it. So this is essentially the prediction of Sam Altman saying one-person $1 billion businesses or companies that are coming out in the very near future, plus the founder of Replit and all these software such as Cursor as well. They have millions and millions of users, and what they're saying is that, okay, we see our users and we see this trend happening. And also, if we go to LinkedIn as well, you can see that they have a lot of data around how everything is changing towards AI right now. So then it looked at, okay, what tools can we use to build this out. The first tool was Lovable, then Cursor, then Supabase, then N8N, and a couple of other tools it gave me. So I'm just showing you what's here and what you can see, essentially telling you this could be used for the backend. If you want to use no code, these two can replace each other if you want. And then Lovable for the front end, then a database over here. Then you can attach a couple of other tools on the side and giving you that no code stack. So the question over here it's answering is saying that, is this possible with one person having no code experience, or should I get someone that knows code and so on? And then it gave me this integrated technology stack, which is whatever it came up over here. Then it came up with the further evaluation saying that, okay, the way you're going to do this, and I was not convinced with this at the very beginning. That's why I went to Manus to validate this idea and give me a much better go to strategy, Manus. And that's what I realized. The idea was nice from Perplexity, but Manus gave me that go to strategy. Okay, I gave it more context. I said, okay, how can we do this? What is the pivot? And how are we going to reach that $1 billion evaluation? He said, first start by a cohort program. You have no idea what you're doing. And because it's imagining that I'm starting fresh. So you're going to learn with solo founders. You're going to get them. It's high touch. You're going to document. You're going to productize and so on. And you're going to write every SOP for every task you do. Then you're going to come to point number two, and you're going to start building out software based on MVPs and machines and how you build stuff, and build it for your clients and let them use it and see the top used softwares and then templates, and then go start the platform out of that. A very let's say question mark or red flag I have at this point over here, just looking at the numbers, looking at the case study and the evidence I've seen so far, I haven't seen someone who's running a program over here, which is more of a high touch kind of community kind of model or education kind of model, or even a co-creation model, transition to a SaaS model efficiently because the users are different and so on. So the transition here, I have not seen a live use case, and this may be something new that could happen. Okay, you could argue it's cool with Sam Ovens and so on, but Sam Ovens had to close Consulting Accelerator to start School, which is a SaaS software. So there's kind of a question mark over here for people. So this is where the human intervention is very important. That's why I took it to Manus. And then point number two over here is, how can you go here? You go to global community and you scale this at a community level and then globally, and that's how you get to that $1 billion evaluation. I'm not very much convinced with the strategy. I'm being very honest with you. This is where I feel it went off a bit, but I did not prompt it more for this idea. Then he went to the go-to-market strategy, telling me that, okay, target early adopters, community-led growth, partnerships, content marketing, value-based pricing, and then now go start your business and so on. Then when I took this into Manus, I said, okay, these are three ideas. Which is the best idea? And give me what do you think about everything over here? And gave me, okay, this is idea surface. It has a big market. These are the key metrics and so on. This is my evaluation to everything over here. And this is what I think. And it essentially told me that your idea is great. You can go after it, but the go to market strategy needs to be fixed. And that's where Perplexity kind of failed. And it's fine. It's fine. It's completely fine. It did a great job coming to this point and giving me that one idea with human intervention, which is very, very important. That's how I think you should go ahead with this. As I mentioned, I had canceled my subscription to Perplexity because it was giving me very generic and fluffy answers a couple of weeks back. But this feature is what got me to sign up again. And I only see Perplexity right now as this AI research assistant where it's going to go the web and research a couple of things. And it's what's nice about it as well. As a pro member, you get unlimited deep research, so you can use that as much as you want just to do your research. But always make sure to validate what you get and add your human input, because that is the big gap that I see right now happening. And it may give you biased information if you don't give it the right prompt as well. That being said, like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.